Welcome to the Dice Tower. This is the Origins Summer Preview with the Dice Tower, done at the Origins Game Fair 2013 in conjunction both with the Dice Tower and the Game and Manufacturers Association, GAMA. In this series of videos, we talk to different publishers and designers about games that have just come out or that are about to come out in the future. Here's today's video with your host, Eric Summer.
It's the Dice Tower's coverage of Origins 2013. We're looking at Krosmaster Arena, and we're speaking with a gentleman with a fine name, Eric.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
So many Erics. Never enough Erics,
yes.
though. Yeah.
You know, we can't take over the world until we get full domination. Anyway, not supposed to talk about the plan.
Okay.
Let's talk about Krosmaster Arena, a gorgeous-looking game with all these great little figurines.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So it's a tactical skirmish game for 2 to 4 players, and each player controls 2 to 8 minis. Each of the minis has their own ability card, gives you their stats, spells they know how to cast, powers they have, and they obviously each operate differently, right? She summons these little tofu tokens to help her out. She's a teleporter. This guy's like super close combat guy. This guy throws water bombs. So they all operate differently, and you know, your tactics are going to change based on who's on your team and which figures you're operating. Right. It's a turn-based, so you would move all your figures, do everything you want to do, and then I would do the same. Anybody who's played like Final Fantasy Tactics or something like that is familiar with the core concept of what this game is doing.
Okay. So you sort of get your team of 4, right? There's 8 figures in the box.
Yeah. In the base game, there's 8 figures, and so if you and I were playing, we'd each control 4 figures. There's 34 figures total in the line in expansion packs and stuff. And so in advanced play, like constructed play, right? Each of the figures has a level, and it tells you, kind of gives you their relative strength to the rest of the field, and then you bring a team whose levels the level adds up to 12. Okay, so you could have 2 level 6 characters, and I would have 6 level 2s, and then we would just throw down.
All right, and how do we throw down?
So, like I said, it's turn-based, and so on your turn, you're going to be doing various different stuff. The goal of the game is to steal all the gallons of glory from your opponent. There's like your victory points, and so in a 2-player game, we'll each start with 6, and these can change hands various different ways. You can run around, pick up coins, and steal victory points that way. The game will steal victory points from us occasionally, but the most basic way and the easiest way to steal victory points from an opponent is to KO their figures. Okay. So at its core, you're running around beating each other up.
Right.
You're doing other stuff, purchasing boosts, buffs, and equipment, and you have other goals, but really you're just bashing each other's heads in.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. So and the way that you do that is by casting attack spells. All the figures know at least one attack spell, and when you attack a figure, the spell will do some amount of damage, usually 1. In some of the stronger figures, they'll do more damage. When you attack a figure, you roll a die, and if you get the starburst, the little starburst, or the wild, you've done an extra damage to them. It's a critical hit, right? Okay. Whenever you're attacked, you always roll for defense, and if you get a shield or a wild, you've reduced the amount of damage you're about to take by that many points, right? So some figures are better at it than others. She rolls 2 dice whenever she attacks, right? She's kind of a heavy hitter. This guy's hard to kill, so he rolls 2 dice whenever he defends. So it gives a little texture to the figures. And so it goes back and forth until one of us either has no figures or no gallons of glory. And it's not a super long game, so you and I were playing, the game would take about a half hour or so for a 2-player game. There's a couple of controls built into the game that kind of pushes it along. So
I see some special powers, power-ups and abilities and crates.
Yep. So the terrain is important to the game, obviously. Trees and characters will block line of sight for spells, right? So Bill, for instance, he's super long range guy, and so the range on his spell is 3 to 8, which will count orthogonally, and so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. And as long as there are no people or trees in the way, it's a clear shot, shoot away, right? But if you're standing on top of a crate, that's going to increase the outer range of your spell by 1. So Bill on top of a crate is a happy guy. He can get almost all over the board. Trees and shrubs block movement, right? So it gives a little texture to the board, and figures like Bill, for instance, again, he doesn't like to be close to anybody. He's got low hit points and can't do much when people get next to him. So he wants to stay behind stuff and stay away from people, right? But the king of the go balls and Anatomy, for instance, they're not into that. They want to get right up there and start mixing it up. As you're coming in to start beating each other up, you're picking up coins and you're gathering that, and you're going to use that to either steal victory points or purchase these demonic rewards, which are boosts, buffs, and equipment. And you assign them to your character, and they'll give them special abilities or new spells that they can cast, or sometimes it'll just do like a little simple healing spell, or you're going to do more damage this round or whatever. So there's lots of different things that this will do, and they come in varying costs, right? So there's 3, 6, and 12, and that obviously is determined by the power of
how powerful they are.
Yeah. Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What else can you tell us?
Well, so it comes out early July. We did a Kickstarter for it, which was quite successful. We're really happy with the way that went. Kickstarter units are going to start shipping out like the 8th or the 10th, and then we're going to start shipping from distributors on the 20th. Okay. So that's the timeline for this.
And if you want to follow that timeline, where can people get updates on the game?
Yeah, so you can go to JapanimeGames.com. You can go to our Facebook page. That's probably the best way.
Okay.
We're more interactive on the Facebook page than we are on the website. So
simply search for Japanime Games.
Yeah, just go to Facebook, look for Japanime Games, and we're there. And you can always talk to us that way and ask what's up. And then in the meantime, you can pre-order it through any retailer. All the distributors I've already ordered gobs of it. So
great.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And then you've got this nice little tin here. This is your brand new product.
Yeah, this is Kanzume Goddess. It just came out about a month and a half ago. It's our newest game. It is a deck building style game. It's 2 to 6 players. And each player controls, so it's Norse gods versus Greek gods is the theme of the game, and each player plays as a god, and so each of the gods has their own special abilities and the way they operate. And then you are recruiting warriors from the communal pool, right? That town or that whatever that every deck builder has, and then it's more head to head. So unlike some of the other deck builders where everybody's kind of on rails doing their own thing, this is we're battling it out, and so it's super interactive. You always kind of have to pay attention to what they're doing on their turn, because that's definitely going to influence what you need to do on your turn. So it's quite fun. We're really happy with it. We're doing demos of it all weekend here, and it's been a big hit for us. We're quite pleased with it. So,
excellent. Yeah. Eric from Japanime Games, thank you very much.
Appreciate
for spending some time with us.
Thanks a lot. Have a good show.
Thanks so much for watching The Dice Tower and the Origin Summer Preview. We'll see you next time. I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.